Alrighty, so I am putting together a new print and play Seawolves, a solitaire battle of the Atlantic, 39 to 42. And I have a need for a player board. So I just put this away, put this together rather, and jumped on Canva and put this together. And I just printed this out, right? This is the original one that you get in the file. So I removed the background, mounted this on an overlay for water, like that. And now, so the idea is that I'll be able to put my submarine here, and then what you do is you have your tokens. We'll cut these out soon, but these are mounted and they're double-sided, and you can see how straight that board is. So this is above the water, this is below the water. Anyway, I want to make a nice board and not just have a sheet like that. So in order to do that, I'm going to rely on some techniques that I use to build these boards. So these are boards for another project I'm working on with broadsword, and you can see how straight these are. These are double-sided and just really straight boards there. And then this is the Hero Quest board that I'm building. It's roughly a 15 millimeter sizing, about a ½ inch to roughly somewhere in there, 5/8 inch squares. And these are double-sided boards also, like this. And so what I wanted to show is just how I kind of put these together and what this looks like, and how you can get absolute straight boards when you're putting your tiles together. And I thought it might be some helpful information. So I'm going to build the board with this one, show you what we do, and how straight it is. All right, let's get this done. All right, so let's take a look at this. So I have the main sheet here, and I went ahead and applied some glue stick. I use glue stick for everything in terms of mounting my tiles and stuff. I find that I get the best adhesion. I once upon a time did the spray adhesive, and I just could not get it to cover 100%, and I had just had a lot of failure with my tiles with the adhesive over time just releasing and causing issue. Since I've switched to glue stick, I haven't had any issue. And then I use 50-point cardstock, or this is chipboard rather, and this is, I find, is the most versatile for tiles really, and for inserts as well. Cut this up and glue it together to make my inserts with. And then I made an investment here also in some just plain matte cardstock. You have to have something on the other side of the tile to give it a little pullback. So what's going to happen is the glue that's applied here is going to go down on the chipboard, and then that's going to create a bow, right, as it dries. So in order to prevent that, if you apply another piece, other side, equal forces applied, you're going to get straight boards, and also it'll dress up the back side of the board for you too. So you could do either, right? The main board, and then like I did with my broadsword tiles, another of the tiles to sort of act as that counteract, or you just a plain white piece there, so, or black, or whatever you want to do. So let's get this stuck, and then we'll show you how that works. All right, once I've lined it up, and I've lined it up here on the edges, right, on at least the top and side edge. That way I can make sure that it's going to be at least square here, and then I can trim to it as necessary. And then what I like to do is just smooth it out and make sure that I apply pressure across the board here like this, so that all that glue will stick. I'm not sure if you can see the glare here, but there's a little bit of just glue right there, right? But like I said, water soluble, so you can I just wet the paper towel on my tongue right quick and just take that out, because I don't want it to be too wet, just a little damp. And there you go. And that will come right off, just like that. It's in the moment kind of a thing, right? And you can see here, now that I've lined it up on this edge and this edge, that it's just off just a smidge, and this is perfectly fine. So we will put the white piece on the back here, and then that allows us the ability to come back here. We'll trim that off together, and we'll have a nice clean edge. So far so good. Let's apply the white side. All right, for the back side, for this one, I find it's easier just to go ahead and apply the glue right to the board. Make sure we get our edges real well in the middle like this. And you can see that there's some stuff just on the edge up here, and all of that we'll wipe off, and then we'll apply a marker also on the edge of the board to just sort of dress that up and make it look snazzy. All right, so this was the side of the board that we had matched previously. So we're just going to match this side and the top, and then that'll let us, we might end up trimming the whole thing, but we'll see. All right, so there we have that. Just like that. And there we go. So now I'm just gonna wipe our edges off here, and want to take some time here with this one, make sure my hands are clean as I wipe on this, and we get everything squared away, and make sure that this is down like that. All right, so we're gonna leave that for a second. We'll be right back. Okay, so we now have both sides adhered here, and you can see that it's pretty straight here, and there's just a few little wavering lines here too. Once we, if that's good, if that'll get clear, once we trim this off, it will be great. You can see that there's some of the cardstock from the back coming off on this side. Both the top, the edge that we lined up, and the edge on the side are pretty good. We may trim this, but this one, this top on this left side here that we lined up with our top, we did that also on the back side this way. Looks pretty good. So we're gonna need to trim this up. But one of the things that I wanna do first, right, is I like to let this dry for a good 24 hours before I cut it. Once you apply the glue, especially with a glue stick, right, it does need some time to dry and cure properly. And if you, depending on the material you're using too, if you cut too soon, you'll end up tearing your image, and that could be a pain in the butt and could be pricey in terms of your printing costs, etc. So I like to let this dry for a good 24 hours. And while it's doing that, I'll just put some heavy books on it, that kind of thing, or heavy board game projects that I'm working on, so that it'll cure in a nice straight fashion. Then we'll come back, we'll trim it up, hit the edges with a king size Sharpie to sort of blacken in the edges. Really dresses it up nicely, and can give you that professional look. And I think it'll go real well with the black lines on the sheet here too. So there you go. We're gonna let this dry, and then we'll come back and we'll get it cut and colored the edges. Okay, so we are back and taking a look at the board, right? So nice straight edges all the way around. Just kind of looking at this, and I can see that we definitely need to do some trimming on this side. So we're just gonna pull that back a little bit. And this side also we're gonna need to do, and then I think we're gonna do these three sides. I think there's just a little bit more on the edge here too, and since this tile is not gonna be connected to anything else, and it's just sort of a self floating board, floating, get it? And then we're just going to trim it, and then we will look at inking the edges. And so there's a couple of options here. I highly recommend a metal ruler. These with the cork background are nice for stuff like this because they can go right on top of your image. You're not going to scratch it. So you could, and a better man might get out the measure calipers, and so that we know that we're exactly going to be square, but I'm fine with it. We're gonna wing it. We're just gonna put this up here. That looks really good, and we're just gonna trim that edge off. One cut, and then there you go. So it's a nice, do we see it? Can we see it? I don't know if we can see it. Anyway, all right, so let's take a look. Top we like. This right side, we're just going to trim off just a hair smidgen of this side as well. And then we're going to do the back side. Here we go. Eye it. Okay, good. There we are. So now we have a freshly trimmed board, square all the way around. And now the fun part, easy part, right? I love these King Sharpies. And so with these, we're just going to ink the edges. And make sure I ink those real well. And that, essentially, you can see what that does there. Like that. And I ink all the edges on all of the tiles that I make. I just find that it really dresses it up, makes everything look smoothly and professional and planned. So there we go. All right. That, my friends, is one full board. You can see that the back side, that's the front side. And now, when I have my submarine, I have my board, and as the boats are coming in, right, we have now a board to play on. We're submerged, we're shooting torpedoes, boom, you're dead, like so. Anyway, there you have it, and there you go. Let me know what you think, and would love to hear about your projects and how you're creating your boards. But this has been real successful for me. Nice straight boards 100% of the time, and they won't warp over time either. So there you go. Straight tiles.